Joshua Cribbs turns disaster into a score!
Ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
Washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary. And I said, Stone Cold, why have one when you can have them both?
Swung out and drilled! Deep right center! Away back! Gone for Tony!
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton?
Awful.
How is she awful?
Hates freedom.
And now, Any Given Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Ward and Ethan Simpson.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Any Given Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brendan Ward, sitting across the internet from my main man,
Ethan Simpson. How are you?
I'm not too bad today, Ethan. One of the reasons I'm not too bad is because we're still selling the Any Given Podcast Numbers Don't Lie shirt. Listen, these guys have done the math already. We've been selling it to them for months now. Aren't going to want to miss the fantastic design. The B is the 6. The rest of the shirt is brown, orange, and white. Do the math, people. We cover sports. Not that hard to figure out.
You know what, Brendan? Continue selling that shirt. I'm going to grab one so the viewers, our loyal viewers, can see one of them up close through the internet.
I got you. Go ahead and get it, and we'll show it just so they have that view. Go get yourself figured out. Ethan's going to climb himself out. I'm going to go ahead and take over. Listen, you've seen him. I can't really keep harping on it enough. You'll get to see the view as soon as Ethan gets back. Do you know where to get him, though? That's the real issue here. You can get him at KentStagePosters.com. Listen, the Kent Stage is a place that's very near and dear to my heart. I've been doing this broadcasting thing for 3 years now, marketing, whatever you want to call it. We're sitting here, almost 3 years. It had not quite yet. We're sitting here, and the Kent Stage has been a very near and dear place to my heart. Ethan's got the Numbers Don't Lie shirt right in frame. Look at it. You can get that at KentStagePosters.com. You see it right there in the middle over there. You see the shirt over there in Ethan's screen as he props it up. Look, it's a gorgeous shirt. It's really can't miss. Get in on the bandwagon before Baker Mayfield's in the MVP race, because that's just it's going to be the way of the world this year. You get in before the getting's hot, because that's what you're going to want to do. KentStagePosters.com is the place to be.
What was that?
KentStagePosters.com. As I've told them a couple different times, we're brought to you by.
Did you say KentStagePosters.com?
Yeah, I for sure did.
As in one of Northeast Ohio's top premier music venues, KentStagePosters.com.
Yes.
That's what I thought you said, and you know what? I love it, because I love the Kent Stage. I love KentStagePosters.com.
Speaking of the Kent Stage, because we've told them about the shirts. We told them about the website to get the shirts. They know about the posters they can get at KentStagePosters.com. But there's another side to the Kent Stage. There's the music venue side. You know a lot about that. Go ahead and take over and just let them know what the Kent Stage has coming.
Let me tell you what, after 2020 and most of 2021, obviously music venues, most places were shut down. Brendan, I know you did not like that. I didn't like it either. Most people didn't like it because, you know what? Who doesn't love live music?
Never met the person yet.
I've never met the person either. So who doesn't love live music? So what's coming is July 30th. All right. This is July 30th. the Kent Stage will have their first show back in over a year and a half. I mean, how fantastic is that?
It's wonderful, man. It's been
And
a
you know
long
who it
road.
is? You know who it is?
I do, but you tell him who it is.
It's friend of the Kent Stage, Steve Earle. Steve Earle will be there July 30th. This is 3 days after my 25th birthday. So happy birthday to me. We're opening back up and I am so ecstatic about it, and we're happy to be open.
Oh, I'm gonna be there. Trust me. Whatever T has me doing, I'm gonna be there.
Oh.
I'm just excited to see the Kent Stage get back, live music get back, you guys get back. While you were running to get the shirt, I talked a little bit about just how near and dear the Kent Stage is to us. It's not just some place we talk about. It's the place we both work. It's your family business. It's more than just, hey, go here so we can promote these guys. It's we live this stuff each and every day. What was it? Midnight last night, I checked my email. We throw out some marketing stuff by 10 a.m. this morning. You two were sleeping. I took care of it just to make it happen. It's really just that big of a deal. So to see the reopening concert, I'm excited to see these. I'm excited for all your guys' loyal fans to see just the new renovations that are happening across the place. The new bathrooms, the new lobby, all of it is just it's gonna surprise fans.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? You put it a great way. This isn't just, my family's music venue. You're involved with this. Everybody in the community is involved in this. Whether you are a volunteer, whether you work there, whether you just come to concerts, it's one of the greatest music venues, and we're keeping live music alive, and especially we're keeping folk music alive. So, you cannot beat that. That's just a fantastic thing. And speaking of concerts that are coming to the Kent Stage, I'm going to do a little plug here. Brendan, do you care?
Plug away, man. It's always plug, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
That's what we were taught. Always be plugging.
Wednesday, September 22nd at the Kent Stage, Five for Fighting with string quartet will be at the Kent Stage. They will also be at Robbins Theater, but September 22nd they will be at the Kent Stage. Moving on from
next day.
Yeah, moving on from that, Yonder Mountain String Band, another great band that loves the Kent Stage. The Yonder Mountain String Band will be there Wednesday, October 27th. They will be at the Kent Stage. They have always loved the Kent Stage. They have told us how much they love it. So, yes, that is fantastic. And then, to top it off, for right now, we'll give you some more updates next week. For right now, Bela Fleck's My Bluegrass Heart, featuring Michael Cleveland, Sierra Hall, Justin Moss, Mark Schatz, and Brian Sutton will be there Tuesday, September 28th. So, once again, we are getting all these fantastic shows at the Kent Stage, and we are, as they say, nature is healing itself.
Oh, for sure, man. Because you just kind of gave the update. I'm going to sell it real quick. You know what I'm saying? Bela Fleck, 15-time Grammy Award winner, a legend in the industry at the Kent Stage. Yonder Mountain String Band, I've just recently discovered their music, but it's adventurous, it's fun, it's folksy, it's bluesy. You're gonna love it if you're into that type of thing. They'll be there. Can't miss. John Ondrasik goes by the moniker Five for Fighting, and he created this song called Superman, which is an unofficial anthem for September 11th, 2001. We all know what happened with the tragedy of September 11th. And we're near its 20th anniversary, 20 years ago. We're creeping up on that.
Yeah.
And Five for Fighting will be at the Kent stage, not even 2 weeks after the 20th. I don't like calling it the anniversary because it's a tragic event, but after 20 years after September 11th, 2001, Pfeiffer Fighting, who has been uniquely known for honoring that event, or the remembrance of that event, at the Kent stage, not even 2 weeks after that 20-year mark. So just three incredible shows to push right back into things, right? And even Steve Earle and the Dukes being just an incredible show, like you said on the reopening. But enough selling, man. We've sold for 10 minutes now. I can't. We're excited though. So that's what it is. NFL news now. Mandatory mini camps for this week, but it was relatively quiet across the NFL. Aaron Rodgers didn't show up. Devontae Adams was excused from Packers camp. But other than that, there were no crazy stories in the NFL. There was this, there was that. For the Browns, everybody showed up. There were some that missed for injuries and personal reasons and stuff like that. But Baker was there, Odell was there, Jarvis was there. All those people that you didn't think would be those veterans, they were there. They were there to work. So minicamp kind of went off this week without a hitch. They only had 3 days. And it's a good sign to where I think the Browns are in terms of team competitiveness and stability and things like that. And then moving on from that, on Sunday, Kansas City Chiefs defensive end Frank Clark, who's widely known mostly for his comments about Dee Ford and how they replaced Dee Ford with him, and it ended up being the reason they won the title. I haven't been the biggest fan of Frank Clark, but he's got the production on the field. But Sunday he was arrested in Los Angeles after what is being called a routine traffic stop. He was arrested because the police officer that pulled him over found an open duffel bag in the back of his Lamborghini that had an Uzi in it. So Frank Clark was driving around L.A. with a submachine gun and has now been booked on felony illegal possession. And the last I checked through Bleacher Report, it says he is still in jail and has not been released.
You know what, Brendan? Last time I checked, having a submachine gun is a felony, so that makes sense that he's still in jail.
That's some serious baggage to be carrying. Just, chilling in the back seat like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That's not. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, like, some of these guys just feel like they can get away with it, I guess.
Yeah, that's not having a pistol where you have a CCW and you have it in your glove compartment, That is a murder machine.
That is what Colombian drug lords buy for their security guards. You know what I'm saying? That's like what you see in movies and stuff. You don't see an Uzi, bro. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen one in real life. I know they were a pretty famous gun when it comes to like you said, killing type things, like a Call of Duty game or a movie, but
right.
You don't buy an Uzi with any intentions besides bad ones. I feel like that's not a personal protection weapon.
No, that's like some Scarface type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Colombian Scarface, same sort of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, he's Cuban.
He's Cuban. They sold the same stuff. If you get my drift.
That is true. All right. That is true. Yes, they all sold coke. But here's the one thing that I always say. So with Frank Clark, same with Porter Jr. Why are you carrying your own guns? You make enough money to where you can pay people to hold those, They could be sitting in your passenger seat, but they can still hold these weapons. And you know what? You could pay for their lawyer, pay for them, their bail. You can pay for all that. Why are you holding that yourself? There's no excuse to hold that yourself.
Who was the Browns left tackle last year or 2 years ago that caught with the weed at the border and tried paying his buddy to take the blame?
Oh man.
Was that Cam Robinson?
Yes. Yep.
I was,
But he had ounces on him.
yeah, you can't really say it's your buddy's weed when it's 40 ounces of weed sitting in your back seat. Also, if you're going through border patrol, don't just have it in duffel bags in the back seat. Like that was like class A, you deserved the felony you got type of situation.
Well, the whole thing when they popped him, those are once it goes like over a couple, like say you got a couple grams, maybe you have an eighth on you, you know.
Yeah.
Once it goes past a half, that's when it turns into a class 1 drug charge.
And it's probably trafficking, not just like possession too.
He tried to go through the border.
That's what I'm saying. It's trafficking, smuggling, whatever you want to call it. It's just a serious issue back then, but that's kind of the same situation Frank Clark's dealing with now.
And I wouldn't put having a lot of weed to having an Uzi. Look, I understand there's some people that listen to this podcast that might disagree with me. Look, smoking weed is not doing drugs. All right.
I get what you're saying here. It's very small level stuff. My thing is it was the same level of idiocy, if that's even a word. I'll have to look it up.
That makes sense. Yeah.
The same level of idiocy just to have both of those things that are felony level things just kind of chilling in the back seat. You know, like put it somewhere or don't do it in the first place. But if you're gonna put it in somewhere that's like if somebody walks up to your car, they can't just see it.
Dude, the guy was an NFL left tackle making millions of dollars, and he still decided to try to go through the border. Why are you doing that, man?
Yeah, it's
not like
of idiocy.
It's not like he needed the money.
Yeah,
he's getting NFL money. He does not need the money.
Yeah, and he definitely wasn't buying a personal package.
Yeah, and just like Frank Clark does not need that Uzi.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's like you said. It's one thing. You don't buy an Uzi for personal protections. You buy it with bad intentions. So unless Frank Clark was about to go mow people down, that's the only thing I could think of anybody ever wanting an Uzi for.
Right.
It's not right. Give it to soldiers, not civilians. But
the thing is, if you're gonna buy a gun like that, you buy a pistol with your CCW, you know, for protection for your house. You buy a shotgun for hunting, not haunting. I don't know. I was actually reading Haunted Akron earlier today. That's why I said. I freeze.
Yeah, we got you back there. So.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Pistol for protection, shotgun for hunting, and then I mean, I can understand people getting like assault rifles for protection and or hunting. I don't know. You know what? I would never get those, but some people do get those for protection. But other than that, you don't need an Uzi. Especially in Kansas City, Missouri, you don't need an Uzi.
He was in LA at the time.
Especially in LA, that's the worst place to have a gun.
Right? I feel like that's like just overkill at that point.
And he's in a Lambo too. Like they're already looking at that. Hey, I don't know. Look, I've never shot a gun. I don't plan on buying a gun. So that's just me personally. Not that I'm against people having CCWs and getting guns and, you know, having a pistol, having a shotgun. I'm not against that. But
I was gonna say,
I've never shot a gun.
I've shot one. I was going to say, because I've shot one and owned one.
Yeah, hey, I have no problem with it. Me personally, I'm not going to have a gun. That's just me. I'm more of a baseball bat if somebody breaks into my house type of guy. As you know, you've been to my house. You've seen the baseball bat that I have. So
No, trust me, I get it, bro. Mine was just like it'd be cool to have. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, and I've shot it once and it's sat in its box since then. I've cleaned it and I haven't done much else with it. But we're kind of on off topic. We're just talking about guns now. Let's rein it
yeah,
in. Back to football. A little bit of a lighter note. A lot of a bit of a lighter note because it's more of a positive. I think we agree. Former Browns defensive end, now playing for the Las Vegas Raiders. I had to catch myself. I almost said Oakland. Carl Nassib. Those of you know him as the accountant from Hard Knocks. He came out as gay today in an Instagram video, and my real take on this is, like I said, I was just like, okay, he's gonna be known as the first active player to ever come out as gay, just because Michael Sam never got the chance to make it into the NFL as an active player. But for Carl Nassib, I'm struggling to find the words just because this is one of those subjects you got to dance around, because no matter how you say it or no matter how positive you are about it, things can be misconstrued the wrong way. For
if you can't find the words, can I go first before you?
Yeah,
Because I already found the words. Good for Carl. Absolutely good for him. Because what I tweeted out, I said, hey, no one should feel ashamed of who they end up loving unless you're a pedophile. I didn't put that in the tweet, but unless you're a pedophile, then don't feel bad about who you love. Hey,
yeah,
hey, he likes guys. He's attracted to guys. Good for him. Is he still one of the top defensive linebackers in the NFL? Absolutely. You know what? Hey, I would love a gay defensive lineman on my team that could, get 20 sacks a season rather than somebody who's homophobic and whatnot. So,
yeah.
absolutely good for him, man.
I agree with you because that's kind of my take. Essentially, um, to me, it just be good on him because it doesn't matter. Like you said, as long as the production's there, what does it matter?
Yeah.
As long as he's producing enough to justify having a job, and we talk about that sort of thing all the time. The sexual orientation has no wherewithal on anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
So good on him for coming out. It is a big deal, and that's why we put it in here, because there are so few, despite the fact that there's probably more than the one person in NFL history, two people now in NFL history that we know of. So it is a big deal. Maybe it'll push forward for other people, but it is a thing where it's just good on you, but it really shouldn't affect anything in terms of who you are as an NFL football player, because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's your personal life, and it's as long as Carl Nassib is happy, and in his video, if you watch it, he looked about as happy as he could be, and that's all
Mm-hmm.
that. And excuse my French, that's all that fucking matters.
That's all that fucking matters is if he's happy. And you know what? The fact that he had to hide that for how many years is kind of disturbing because I have a lot of friends who are
Yeah.
gay, homosexual. And you know what? I respect them and I respect the way that they have come out and done all that because why does it matter?
Yeah,
You know?
it's and a lot of straight people unfortunately don't think that way, because it's just they're it's tunnel vision, and it's
Yep.
not necessarily their fault.
Just like that.
It's just that they have a one way of viewing a love life, and don't really, and me, like, we're both straight men who have an affinity for women. Um,
Absolutely.
and it's just we're at a point where it's okay. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't like yeah. I
That's
don't. It's that's not one of the asking points to meet a friend. I don't meet somebody. Hi, how are you? What's your name? Are you straight or whatever? Uh,
right.
to
Yeah.
to me, your orientation doesn't matter. First of all, I'm engaged and I'm not looking anyways. Second of all, unless there's something you need to tell me, uh, I don't need to know.
Yeah, and even it's not even like you don't need to know. Like I was saying,
It
I
doesn't change
have
who you are.
I have multiple friends who are gay, right? And you know what? I still love them just like I love my friends that are straight. It doesn't matter to me, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't change who you are as a human being.
And growing up through the stage, I've met so many different people, gay, straight, different races, stuff like that. So I've never been the one to be like, "Oh, I'm going to judge you," you know?
It's just not a thing.
No.
It's never been. Maybe I know it's a thing, and I know like why these moments are pretty important. But to us, it's just good on you,
Yeah.
because it
Fucking
doesn't change who you are as a football player or a person. To me, so good on Carl.
absolutely not. And he's still, like I said, one of the top defensive ends, defense
He's
linemen.
he's gonna
Um,
he'll be starting on that Vegas defensive line
yeah.
this year unless some insane bigotry or sexism or whatever you want to call it happens,
Did
which
you
I
see what
highly doubt.
Goodell put out?
I did not.
He was like, "Hey, we respect Carl and we respect what he's doing for the LGBTQ community." And I was like, that wasn't for like he wasn't doing that to make a statement because it's Pride Month. He did that because he was like he finally felt safe enough to come out.
He felt like it was
Yeah.
universally accepted enough to where he wouldn't lose his job for coming out. It's just the name of the
That's
game, and
yeah.
unfortunately it's what we've seen in the NFL. Argue what you want. Michael Sam probably would have gotten drafted.
Okay. With the Michael Sam thing. This
I
is
don't.
not this is not against Michael Sam or him and his boyfriend at the time. This was against his agent. His agent told him to like French kiss his boyfriend at the draft because he thought he would get drafted earlier,
Yeah,
and then that totally backfired.
yeah. It's
That's not on Michael Sam or his boyfriend. You know what? They were just doing their thing. That's on the agent for the agent being you'd like, hey, do this. They can not draft you, and then he went in the sixth round. It was kind of
yeah.
like,
You
yeah,
you kind of hit it on the head, and my point was just like since then, like I don't believe since then it's just because of those things that you mentioned where the agent kind of was like forced this on them,
yeah,
which unfortunately was a thing that was happening and was a thing that has never been seen before. And whatever you believe, I do believe that Michael Sam got his fair shot at making an NFL roster, just wasn't good enough because whatever his orientation was, as we've preached for about 10 minutes now, it
he
doesn't
still
matter.
got,
Yeah, well,
he still did that.
it's not even that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the orientation doesn't matter, but we see so many people that can't make the jump, and I believe it's a lot more believable that Michael Sam just couldn't make the jump from college to the NFL because how many
Hmm.
defensive ends pan out from the third or fourth round, no matter if he slid to the sixth. It's not a big thing. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
but
absolutely, yeah.
let's not harp on history. Good on Carl Nassib. Let's go ahead and move on from football, get into NASCAR because we're starting to get deep into the time. A little over halfway there, and we still got a lot to go. NASCAR. How about Kyle Larson getting his third win in a row, fourth on the year overall? What'd you call it the other day?
For Kyle Larson?
Yeah. You called it the Revenge Tour.
Oh, yeah, the Revenge Tour. Absolutely, yes. He is on a Revenge Tour right now because, look, did he mess up last year? Absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt. We're not saying he did.
Absolutely. He should have, but his Revenge Tour is just him coming back to prove to NASCAR that he should have sponsors. That's what I meant by the Revenge Tour. He should have sponsors, and he's driving for Hendrick Motorsports, and he's driving the Hendrick the HendrickCars.com car. What he's trying to prove is like he should have these sponsors. I don't know what sponsor he wants. Maybe he wants peanut M&M that he gets from, Kyle Busch. Maybe he wants Keystone Light from Kevin Harvick. Who knows? He just wants a sponsor. So yes, he is on a Revenge Tour. Fourth win this year. He is now the number one driver in NASCAR. Sitting right behind him is my guy,
Chase Elliott.
And Chase Elliott almost won, but last couple races he's just been sitting behind Kyle Larson, and then it's like Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron. So it's like it's Kyle Larson, my guy Chase Elliott, and your guy William Byron. All three of them.
I love it, man, because it just makes NASCAR fun. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what it was for me. I got away from it because I was heartbroken. Biggest Dale Jr. fan I think ever, maybe. And when he switched from 8 to 88, I was heartbroken. And then I was like, screw this, I'm done.
That was stupid.
Yeah, it was 8. The red 8 Budweiser car was iconic. It's up there with the number 3 Good Wrench. You know what I'm saying?
The 24, the DuPont car. Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
It's up there with all of those. And when he went to I love Mountain Dew, but when he went to the 88 for Mountain Dew, it was just like, no way. And then he got rid of Mountain Dew and went to Nationwide, and it was still like, whatever. I just don't really have that rooting interest. Now I got into it last year, picked William Byron as the guy I'm going to have rooting interest in, and it's worked out because it's made it very fun for me, and they've been very good.
Why do you pick William Byron? Just a question.
Well, mostly because I like I've always been a side fan of the 24, just like you. You're a major fan of the 24. I've always had that. I like the 24 car more than I like the racer behind the 24 car. I like the look.
That's blasphemy. That's blasphemy.
I like the dude, bro. When back in the day, you had to pick Junior or Gordon. You picked Gordon. I picked Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen the picture of me and Ian in front of the 24 when we were little kids. Absolutely.
So I liked that Byron was in the 24. And then the main reason is because of Heidi, and he went to Liberty University, and she did as well. And there's a tie there, and I could have a tie there, and we could have something as if we already are both Cowboys fans, and now we're both William Byron fans. And look at you rolling your eyes, man. Look at you. That's gonna earn me brownie points. So whatever. She'll listen to it and be like, "Oh, he said my name. That's brownie points."
There you go.
All right, hey, just talked myself out of them.
Hey, you know what? Maybe I got brownie points by saying, "Why are you a William Byron fan?"
Yeah, you pulled it up.
I tossed it up. You slammed it down.
Yeah, you alley-ooped me like we're Dwayne Wade and LeBron James.
Right. D Wade like.
Yeah.
I'd be D Wade and you'd be LeBron slamming it down.
I'm glad we agree on the GOAT.
Oh, absolutely. That's another story that's going to come up here in a few minutes. But so the next race, The next NASCAR Cup Series race is in the Poconos. In Pennsylvania. The Tricky Triangle. Who do you got winning this?
Man, I've strayed away from it, and Byron or Elliott is due. So I'm gonna pick are both. They're both of them are due because they've both been right there. Kyle Larson's got to not win a race this week. I still think those three will be up there, but I'm gonna pick Byron. Another third place finish yesterday, Sunday was yesterday, and I just want to see my boy get over there because they're starting to fall behind at this guy that's got 4 race wins all year.
You're not gonna like this, and most of my fans, if I even have any fans, most Chase Elliott fans aren't gonna like this. But give me Denny Hamlin.
Okay, another guy that's just been right up there in the mix, in the thick of things. Just, he might. I mean, Larson's been on fire the last 3 weeks, but last I looked, Hamlin was still one of the guys that were like lap leaders. He was the only one close to Larson, so it's probably not that close anymore. But Hamlin's a guy that can find his way to the front and still make it happen. So good pick, man.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, he's due. Him and Kevin Harvick are due. But I think Denny has been so pissed off that he hasn't won a race this year, and he's been so close that he's gonna make it like make a statement that he will win a race. And you know what? I feel bad about not saying Chase Elliott, but every time I say Chase Elliott, he comes in second place. So maybe, you know what? Knock on wood. Hopefully he wins this race. Chase does. Hopefully I'm wrong and Denny doesn't win it and Chase does.
Well, hopefully I'm right and William Byron wins it.
Hopefully you're wrong. Hopefully you're wrong, and hopefully I'm wrong too, and Chase wins it.
That's all right, but that's what we got for NASCAR. Baseball now. Big deals in baseball going on. Commissioner Rob Manfred's in the middle of the season decides he's going to start changing rules. Umpires are now checking pitchers after each inning, after each time they go to the mound, for foreign substances. I was watching a video earlier. Bleacher Report had posted out of them checking Noah Syndergaard, it was Jacob deGrom, and he had to hand him his glove. He had to unbuckle his belt so they could check inside there, check his hat, and so my question is like, okay, I get like foreign substance are giving these guys an advantage, but we've had baseball for over 100 years now. Why now? And is this a big part? Should this have been changed?
Two things. I'm gonna let you answer this first because I'm gonna go on a rant.
Okay.
Two, you said why? What do you say? Why change this now?
Yeah.
Were you trying to sing the Reading Rainbow song? Hey now, hey wow, it's Reading Rainbow. All right, that was a little joke, but yes, you finish that question, and I will go on my little rant. I'll try to keep it a little short.
Okay. Well, my biggest thing with this is like, if it's been widely known that this happens, we accept the steroid era for what it was, and we even call it the steroid era, which is just weird. We accepted the fact that there was that time period in Major League Baseball where everyone was using steroids. So we are certainly in an era now that we're in of baseball that every single person is using some sort of sticky substance as a pitcher. Mm-hmm. Trevor Bauer has been one of the spearheads of this campaign, showing he even going on experimental videos on social media to show that just a little bit of sweat mixed with rosin will make a ball stick to you like you've never seen before. I say if you're any man, sweat will make anything stick anywhere.
Okay, yeah,
It-
that is
it-
true.
If you're a
Yeah.
man, any round shaped thing added with sweat, it's sticking. So that's that. But my take on it is honestly, like, if you feel like it's giving them that much of an advantage that it has to be changed, okay. The only qualm I have with it is I think it's really weird to roll it out in the middle of the season, but also I don't know if it was really even that necessary.
Okay. Yeah. Um, Trevor Bauer was absolutely right. Yeah, because you have the rosin bag. You're tossing in your pitching arm, and then if you do start sweating, because the guys are wearing wool jersey. All right, they're not wool, but you know they're thick cotton jerseys, and you're wearing those in the middle of the summer. So you start sweating. Yes, it will turn sticky. That's the whole reason why the rosin bag is right there at the end of the mound.
Yeah.
So you can clutch onto the ball. And then you have guys like you said, Syndergaard.
Yeah.
They're checking his hat. They were checking his mitt. They made him take off his belt. Here's the thing. Why can't you call timeouts as a pitcher? Why can't they make it so you can only have 3 like the manager comes up to the mound, you can only have 3 meetings. There's a certain timing. You can't go past 30 seconds between innings, and they call it. If you want to do that, and you say baseball's too long, it's too boring. That's what Rob Manfred said. Rob Manfred. I'm not going to say anything about him because I'm actually looking for a job. So I'm not going to say anything. But if you think baseball's too long, and so you're doing 30-second like pitching, like warm-ups, and then between pitching changes, it's only 2 minutes. But yet you want to check the mitts, the hats, the belts, and check everything on a pitcher. You're just ruining the game, man. Like, that's just ruining the game.
To me, I just know so many people that ritualize getting ready for a game. To me, getting ready for baseball, you put the pants on, you put the socks on, you get it all ready, you get the jersey on, you buckle your belt. That's like one of the final things you do. And once that's done, you're game ready. So to me, you look good, you feel good, you play good. I just think throwing off that sort of ritual by making this dude take his pants off pretty much, it's just something that's wild to me.
I mean, that's whack.
Just like
that he made him take his pants off.
Like, he didn't have to pull him down or anything, but just the fact that they made him get down there like he was about to go take a piss, basically, was just something that it's like, why? Especially when it's like, baseball is one of those sports that small-time cheating is something that's just known. As long as you don't get caught, what's the problem? That's baseball's motto. If you do small-time stuff like that, it's a problem. It's not really that big of a deal. If you steal signs, it's a big deal. These pitchers are now getting more slaps on the wrist than the Astros are for stealing a damn World Series. And I know it pisses you off, but yes, I need to take it there. Because if we're not going to be that pissed off about somebody stealing signs to where we got to
The Yankees stole sign too.
Yeah.
The Yankees stole signs too. That's why the Indians lost the 2017 ALDS against the Yankees. I was there actually with Ian, Tristan, and my dad, and we almost got into a fight with some Yankees fans. But yes, the MLB admitted that they stole signs too.
Well, and that's kind of my point here, right? The MLB is now doing more to these pitchers for a substance they can't even prove that these guys have used.
What is
Than
it?
they have
Snake
they call it sticky tech or spider tech.
Spider tech, yeah.
Yeah.
Snake, spider, same thing. I hate both of them.
They're both venomous, annoying creatures.
Yes.
But yeah, they're doing more now to prohibit these pitchers from using this stuff. And these pitchers are getting more slaps on the wrist for not even being proven cheaters than the proven cheaters have.
Well, have you seen the video of James Karachek?
Where he was wiping his glove?
Well, like he had the ball and he put the ball in the glove and he was like doing this weird thing, like, but there was nothing on the glove, so he was like, it was kind of like an anxiety tick, where he was doing that, and then he was pitching, and so there, obviously the White Sox commentators were like, either he's having an anxiety attack or he's getting, which he wasn't. He was just like, it was like a weird tick. It's like the one pitcher that used to be for, oh shit, hold on. They used to play for the Cubs that did this.
Yeah.
Like he bent down and did this, and then he would throw the ball. Like it was just his weird thing that he did.
That kind of motion like that, kind of like Karinchak is very twitchy. You know what I'm saying? He's very high motored, energetic, twitchy. So that kind of makes a lot of sense to me that he does something like that with a baseball.
And his windup too. He's kind of like, he's like moving a lot. Like obviously he's not balking, but he's like moving a lot. But then he's like boom, and it's like 102, and everybody's like, oh shit.
That's what I'm saying. That dude's a bouncy, energetic, jittery dude. So that one there. But my biggest thing is it's really just a public perception play, because we've already had all these reports about the MLB talking about, well, why don't we just put it on the balls now? Why don't we mandate that whatever substance you're going to be allowed to use, we're going to put on the ball? First of all, you're going to do that for every single ball. How many balls do you think an MLB team goes through? Because I swear, like, each ball is
every
one
single
pitch.
Every single pitch.
Every single pitch is a new ball, pretty much.
You know how many balls I have that have been bought from Progressive Field that are in this house that are in frames, just from one pitch?
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. Any sort of like, so you're gonna start making balls. Just every single ball you make is gonna become prepackaged with whatever substance the MLB deems is okay. But I truly think it's just a public perception thing.
Well, here's the thing too. So, in 2019, they made the balls. What did they do to the balls? They made them. Was it thinner or thicker, so you could hit more home runs?
Made them thicker, so they bounced a little.
Thicker, yeah. So they would pop off.
Yeah, they would pop off a little more.
And so, like, just like you said, Trevor Bauer, the first one to fucking say anything. Pardon my French. If you don't like swearing, probably don't listen to this podcast, right? But Trevor Bauer was the first one to say anything because he was getting raked off of, and everybody was like, "Oh, Trevor Bauer sucks at pitching." No, they just changed the balls, and then, like you were saying, you don't want things on the balls. Then why do we have rosin bags sitting at the back of the mound that you can toss around? And it sticks to your hand.
It's just over policing by the MLB. Why can't we just have a normal ball just being thrown? Whatever the pitcher wants to do, make some substance. I guess you could give a list of substances that can be used, by all means. But to go as far as changing the ball for a second time, or I'm sure it's more than 2 times that they've done it. But how can you be mad at a pitcher who is now using something to try to combat the fact that you started juicing balls so that they fly out of the park more? It's just all of a sudden baseball's just like, well, we need to fix this, 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 and this, and this. And no, just be a little more marketable and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and you know what? What happened to the spitball? You know,
They outlawed
people
it,
would
didn't
spin their fans. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that because you could get some, like get some snot and spit it on your hand and then rub it on the ball, and it could. But here's the thing: Major League, great movie, fantastic movie, probably the greatest baseball movie ever made.
One of them.
All right, okay, yes, one of them. I almost said something, but I cut myself off. So yeah. So the old dude that said "Up yours, Joe Boo," he drank Joe Boo's rum. He was always talking smack to Serrano.
Yeah.
That was actually Gaylord Perry. They based him off Gaylord Perry because Gaylord Perry would cut off the top jalapenos, put them up his nose. That's where the term snot ball came from. Because he would sniff these jalapeno and, all the snot would come down and he would rub it. And he would put, Ben Gay on his arm and all this stuff. So he would use all these different things.
He was making himself.
Yeah, to illegally use this. He was also a very old man. But, yeah, most pitchers, like Karachek and Trevor Bauer and some of the other ones, Noah Syndergaard, they're not doing that. They don't need to do that. They still have the arm strength to where they can pitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would do that, and then you know what? Oh shoot. Brain fart for a second. My guy, Matt Underwood, and you know what I'm talking about.
I know Matt Underwood.
What's his name then? Jeez Louise. Matt Underwood and Rick Manning. That's what I was thinking of. So Rick Manning, outfielder back in the 80s for the Cleveland Indians. What Rick Manning did, speaking of pitchers, he decided to start having sex with Dennis Eckersley's wife while they were teammates together. You know what the Indians did?
I have no clue.
They traded Dennis Eckersley. They said, "You're out of here. We're keeping Rick Manning."
Well, I mean, in professional sports, it don't matter who did the wrong. It matters who does the production. It's.
I mean, but you got to think about the Indians back then. They were not that good.
Which is
they
why
were
you got to
nothing.
keep the more productive player.
I know, but I mean, like, that was kind of like, I think they just flipped a coin and they were like, all right, Eckersley's out.
Yeah, it's all right, it's this guy. But man, we've been on baseball for about 20-some minutes now. We got like 6 minutes to go in the show.
Shoot.
Want to get into some basketball real quick? Give it to him.
Yeah, let's go.
What happened?
I said, let's go.
Okay. Second round has now played out in both the East and the West. Milwaukee wins a grueling 7-game series, sending Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets home 4-3 after the air ball in overtime by Kevin Durant.
Isaiah.
Yeah, sorry, McCoy. I'm happy, but I understand you. Them's your boys. You're from Brooklyn. That's what you're gonna do. And then the Atlanta Hawks, that young, scrappy, gritty team, as Ethan calls them. ends up beating the top-seeded Philadelphia 76ers to set up a conference finals where Milwaukee is going to host the Atlanta Hawks in the East.
Like I said, you saw it earlier. That's going to be a toss-up because Milwaukee has been there, but yet the Greek Freak is not clutch. You know who is clutch is Trae Young. So I think I'm taking Atlanta on this one.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to scoring. If that Bucks defense that showed up in the final 2 minutes of Game 7 against the Nets, and the one that showed up in overtime, and holds this Atlanta Hawks team to lower scoring, then I think they could win. But I also think that, like you said, Giannis has really kind of disappeared in clutch moments this year, despite the fact that they've been there before and all of that. It was really Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday that won that Game 7 the other day. Sure, Giannis made that one shot in overtime that kind of propelled them past the Nets near the end there, but it was also Chris Middleton's turnaround jumper that kind of sealed the deal. I think the Hawks. Go ahead.
No. You were gone. Sorry.
I just think the Hawks are going to be a volume scoring team, and it's going to be very hard for Milwaukee to keep up with that.
Yeah, so like I said, it's going to be a toss-up, but like I've been saying for the last how many weeks, look out for these scrappy, gritty young kids. And I say young by saying like Trae Young.
All right, and then over in the West, as you speak of young, the Phoenix Suns are a relatively young team, aside from their point guard Chris Paul, who is now confirmed to not be playing in Game 2 on Tuesday night of the Western Conference Finals. But Phoenix, as we've known for over a week now, swept the Denver Nuggets 4-0. And then the LA Clippers end up winning a 7-game series after losing Kawhi following Game 5. Paul George ends up leading them back to win that series over Utah 4-3. Utah really has some decisions to make on their two superstars in Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Western Conference Finals were set up for LA Clippers being hosted by the Phoenix Suns Sunday. Yesterday was Game 1. They tucked it away at 3 p.m. on a Sunday. Phoenix ends up coming out on top of that game, 120-114, to take a 1-0 lead. As I said, both Chris Paul, who tested positive for COVID last week, and Kawhi Leonard for the LA Clippers, who has a knee issue, missed Game 1. Paul is symptomless and had hopes of playing Game 2, but it's now been confirmed that he's not going to. Leonard is expected to miss at least Game 2, but could possibly miss longer.
Wait, so he tested positive for COVID, but they're not going to let him play in Game 2?
He's symptomless, so I didn't read much about it because it came on it came up right after we hit record, so I didn't read much about it. But it just kind of said that he's not playing Game 2. He tested positive last week. They believe that it could have been a false positive. He's now symptomless. They're waiting for a negative test. As soon as he gets that, he can play. Game 1, it didn't matter. Devin Booker led him to a win in Game 1. I truly think the Suns can win this series even without Chris Paul. But Chris Paul coming back, if there's no Kawhi Leonard on the other side, the Clippers were lucky to get past Utah. I really am excited at the prospect of the Phoenix Suns being in the NBA Finals against the Atlanta Hawks, because I think that would just be fun to watch. Because there's no rooting interest for me. I'd be happy with either team that won. It'd just be a fun NBA Finals for me, especially when both of our team, the Cavs, aren't very good.
Absolutely, Cavs are not very good. A lot of people are still on sex land, as I like to call him, but Darius Garland is he's our superstar. So about about Game 1, with obviously him missing it, and then he can't make it to Game 2. Same with Kawhi. Let me tell you what, I had COVID and I have a knee injury. And you know what? How much money did those two make combined?
Well, I think it's just wild to me that, like, so many of these things should have already been figured out. See, like, Kawhi Leonard, if it's really an ACL tear, tell us that and sideline his ass. Don't tell me he's got a knee injury and
Yeah.
we'll see. If he's got an ACL tear, he's not going to be able to play. So just tell us, we'll move on. Paul George will have to lead that team or it'll be over with. Don't play with us and be like, well, maybe he'll come back in game 3. We'll see. No, if he's got an ACL tear, he's not coming back. With Paul George, COVID is so many different things. If it really was a false positive, why wasn't he able to play game?
Chris Paul. You said playoff P.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Chris Paul. I don't know. Paul. All right. So Chris Paul, if it really was this false positive, why didn't we just get another test right away? And if it came back negative, throw him in game 1. If it's really positive, why don't you tell us that there's probably zero chance he's going to play in the Western Conference Finals?
Why wouldn't Adam Silver request another test? Or why wouldn't the Suns do it?
It wouldn't even, I was going to say, it wouldn't even be about requesting another test for me. We are testing this man right now. If he's got to take 10 tests.
Right? Like you're about to go into the conference finals and you're not going to retest him. Like I said, hey, I didn't have any symptoms of COVID, but apparently I tested positive. And then I also have a knee injury, so I'm sitting in the same spot that Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard is, and they're also making millions upon millions of dollars more than me.
We are in the Final Four of the NBA, and they are being nonchalant about the playing status of one of the top 5 players remaining in the entire playoffs.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, it was like...
Can you name me 5 players better than Chris Paul currently still left in the playoffs?
Better than Chris Paul and Kawhi, like both of them?
Well, I'm just saying Chris Paul because Kawhi, I think he's...
Okay, better than Chris Paul. All right, you were saying it was ACL, so maybe he's out of that. I would say the Greek Freak and Trey. That's about it.
I would give Devin Booker the nod.
Devin Booker. Okay, yes. Devin Booker is up.
But that's it. I'm taking Chris Paul over Paul George. Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's why I didn't bring him up. Pandemic P, I didn't bring him up.
That's what I'm saying. Currently, right now, if you don't count Kawhi, because I believe he's done, there's 3 players you can name off the top of your head that are better than Chris Paul. And the Suns, who have a legitimate shot because we're in the Final Four, and it's the most parity we've seen in the NBA in over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Take your shot and don't be nonchalant about this guy's playing status, because if you could have him for game 2 off of a false positive last week, or even game 1, if you could have had him for that, you take that shot because he's really the only certified Hall of Famer that's still playing in the playoffs.
Yes, absolutely. And I forgot, didn't the Clippers send Lou Will down to Atlanta?
Yeah, Lou Will's over in Atlanta.
All right, so I put Lou and Will there too.
Over Chris Paul?
No, like besides Chris Paul, I would put Lou Will in that. Yeah,
I got what you're saying. Yeah. So like Chris Paul's up there, and you're just like messing with the status all nonchalantly. It's just not something I would do. Phoenix, I really want to see you win the title. I'd like to see you sweep the Clippers. That would be fun.
Any given podcast team.
Any given podcast official team is the Suns. Like I said, a Hawks Suns NBA Finals would be a hell of a series for me to watch. It'd be fun because even if the Suns didn't win that one, I'd be cool to see Trae Young lead a team to the NBA Finals. We didn't even put it on here, but we talked about it earlier. This is really make or break for Giannis. As you said, he is regarded as the best player left in the playoffs. Without a doubt, No Kevin Durant, no James Harden, no LeBron James, no Anthony Davis. Giannis is considered the best player left in the playoffs.
Only MVP up there, right?
Yeah. The only
CP3 never won one, right?
I don't think Chris Paul or Paul George have either.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul George or Kawhi Leonard.
No, Kawhi was MVP. Or was he Finals MVP?
He was Finals MVP a couple times. I don't know if he's won the
yeah.
most valuable player. I don't believe so. Just
Got it.
Thinking back on it. Yeah, because he didn't win it in Toronto, and LeBron won it a couple times while he was in San Antonio, and then it was Kevin Durant. But Giannis, it's pretty much championship or bust for this guy, because if he doesn't win this year, he's gonna start getting the LeBron treatment, where it's well, you didn't win a title. It was a failure of a season, especially after getting past the Nets.
Yeah. I totally get that. And you know what? The whole thing with LeBron not winning the title in 07 was...
He was a kid?
It was... Yeah, well, just a kid from Akron. But yeah, he was just a kid. And also, he was going up against Tony Parker and
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan. Thank you very much. Once again, a brain fart. But yes, he went up against two Hall of Famers, and
in the prime of the dynasty,
all he had was Boobie Gibson.
He went against,
and I swear to God, do not give me he had Z. Z's number the number 11 should not be in the rafters.
He is just kind of like, he's one of those. He's almost like a cult classic for Cavs fans. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about that a little bit. It's a guy that really wasn't that good. He just kind of had a cult following, a Cavs fan cult following, similar to Anderson Varejao, but I think Andy was better than Z.
I don't want to see either of their numbers retired, because you know what? Guess what Z did in 2010?
Went to Miami.
And all these people were like, why are people hating on him? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, shut up, you fake ass fan. Get the fuck out of here. All right, so before we move on from this, I just want to let you know, Rick Manning had a romantic involvement with teammate Dennis Eckersley's wife, niece. This was during the 1982 season, and then it came out during the 1983 season, and they sent Dennis Eckersley. Wait, no. Hold on. Read that wrong. They sent Rick Manning to the Milwaukee Brewers in 1983. But after the romantic relationship, they traded Dennis Eckersley. So,
is that your this day in sports history?
Oh no, I have one coming up.
That's just a sports historical fact. But
we were talking about that earlier. So
yeah, you had to fix yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for basketball. Do you want to get into this day in sports history? That's all we got left.
Yes, this day in sports history, June 21st, 1939, the New York Yankees announced Lou Gehrig's retirement after doctors reveal he has ALCS. That is June 21st, 1993. New York Yankees announced Lou Gehrig's retirement due to ALCS. And obviously, we all know the classic, his retirement speech. I consider myself the luckiest man in the world to be able to play baseball.
Just a big turning point in baseball. Something that we look back on, and literally it's not even called ALS or ALCS anymore. It's called Lou Gehrig's disease.
Did I say ALCS?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, it's ALS. I don't talking baseball, and I get all.
It's a mix of the both of them, so I got it. But it's literally it's widely known now as Lou Gehrig's disease. There are people that don't know baseball that call it Lou Gehrig's disease. So for that to happen, and for it to just it not only changed baseball, it changed the view on that specific ailment and just what it can do to deteriorate the body of somebody who, even if he is a Yankee, is still widely known as one of the best to ever grace a baseball field.
Absolutely, and like you said, it deteriorates the muscles to where you can't even function anymore. And like you said, Hall of Famer Lou Gehrig, Hall of Famer, you know, and the fact that took away his ability to even do anything is it's such a shame, man. That's bad thing, but I would once again like to say I'm sorry for saying ALCS to anybody that has ALS. That was on me. Sorry, we were talking baseball.
It's all right. Quick slip of the tongue. You mix baseball and ALS, it's gonna happen because you start saying AL. The next two words are CS or Central.
Yeah,
that's
so.
Us.
So to anybody who's had a family member go through that or anything like that, my apologies. It was a slip of the tongue. We were talking baseball, Lou Gehrig, and ALS, ALCS. So I'm sorry.
Truly innocent in the fact. But that's all I got for him, man. You got anything else for him this week?
You can follow me on Twitter at ETHSimpson, CGOD. You can follow me on Instagram at ETHSimpson. You can follow my main man at
BWardCLE on Twitter, B.Ward52 on Instagram. Do not forget to follow the podcast at PodcastGiven on Twitter, Facebook.com/AnyGivenPodcast, at AnyGivenPodcast on Instagram. Do not forget to subscribe to YouTube. Check out KentStagePosters.com. Get a Numbers Don't Lie shirt. See you at Steve Earle on July 30th.
Hey, you know what? I forgot something.
What'd you forget?
You know what? I forgot the biggest thing in the podcast.
Yes, we'll get into it. Get into it.
Right after we're done, we will be presenting for the first time ever on Any Given Podcast Suicide Holla's official song, Butter. They played it on No Jumper Podcast. That's Adam 22. That's one of the hottest podcasts out of LA. They played it on there, and you're getting it right here now for the first time ever on Any Given Podcast.
Why you doing that, Shoot? Nigga got a big ass smile right now.
I can take you where you wanna go, where they got things that form a mess just like the stove. Just hit the hotline if you want some more. Keep the things coming, they ain't never running low. I can take you where you wanna go, where they got things that form a mess just like the stove. Just hit the hotline if you want some more. Keep the things coming, they ain't never running low. Yeah.
Gripping the quarter, gotta keep the cushy. I been on the edge, why you even push me? She chocolate, pretty toes, make a nigga just stare. She tell you holla, eat the pussy. The package came in a lot and we been stocking. I found no more cola rocks up in the stocking. I come from a city, average top 5 for murder. My nigga ain't got a lot of options. Push the pedal to the floor, I ain't swerving. My bitch look foreign, just like Porter Suburban. Depending on whether or not I feel you vermin, determined. I wrap your knot up like a turban. I hit and got the rollout. Ludicrous MC that keep the hammer, and I'm too legit. Wonder what the money do to rich. I'ma need me a bitch staying fly. She not a steward.
The kid, you seen 150 P's on the floor. The fuck you think been going on? We getting butter. I hit the bitch and left her looking like she peed on the floor. Just singing what it's hitting for. I didn't love her.
Enough of the loaf unless you got a loaf. Tired of broken, left you out of hope. I retired, the scope is just too out of focus. You gon' need an extra toast. She butter, don't miss a thing but a throat. butter. You getting cream, that's a go with this butter. You intervene with the dopest butter. Only thing we stress from Mo, B, you. Double T cutting the stomach up, call it a tummy tuck. It's emergency, you don't get your money up. Or for the revenue that's right in front of your butter. Physical, I just don't do undercover, I do on the rubber. Two on one another, I'm gripping and digging, I feel it. She said that like Samuel, that's elusive motherfucker, shoot. I got him trailing, diesel elitist reefer, I'm inhaling. Jesus, keep the piece of being hell-bent. Preaching guns and butter, think I'm Melvin. Choppers like Welvin, so many unplanned funerals, they settle with reverence. Fuck a scoop, I ain't shovel, I'm peddling. Scooby-Doo, how these kids got the metal in. First time I seen niggas get scored on, they made up with the heat like we better win. The Mac was like every corner down in VA. Seen at least 7-Elevens, taking the FN, had to be standard procedure. Type of shit these niggas handle with leisure. Then forget about it, that's amnesia. Hit the pickup spot, dismantle the reefer.
I can take you where you wanna go, where they got things that form a mesh just like the stove. Just hit the hotline if you want some more. Keep the things coming, they ain't never running low.
I hit the kitchen, seen 150 P's on the floor. The fuck you think we gon' I hit the bitch and left her looking like she peed on the floor. Just seeing what it's hitting for, I didn't love her. Enough of the loaf unless you got a loaf. Tired of broken, left you out of hope. I retired, the scope is just too out of focus. You gon' need an extra toast, she butter. Don't miss a thing but a throat. Butter, you getting cream, that's a go with this butter. You intervene with the dopest butter. Only thing we stress from Mo.
Y'all, this beat is stupid.